argument. They have to have a value assigned to them. They don't have the right to build a house, and they can never have a house built on them. But the HOA, or if a developer kept them, they can actually use it for agricultural production. They can do whatever, but they can't fence it off. You can go walk across that ground and do whatever you want to do on it, as long as you're not destroying the property. But it's there for your use and your benefit.
Mm-hmm. So on this, you did have a worksheet.
They did.
Come down like $1,000.
Yeah, because they went through the house details, the dwelling details, and they did reduce it down to $537,071. Is that what your worksheet?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing on the worksheet here. Comments, motion?
Mr. Chair, first off, Mr. Wagner, I'd like to thank you for trying to frame a great argument and providing a preponderance of evidence. That's what should be done here, so thank you for trying. However, based on, as Mr. Tovey discussed, the open space, not quite a valid argument. On parcel RPR 401-304-9518, I make a motion that we uphold the assessed adjusted value of $537,071.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we adjusted the $1,000 as the assessor's table had commented. You have the ability to appeal this to the state or to the courts. The assessor's table has the same opportunity. So other than that, I'd consider your hearings over. Thank you.
I'll do some more research, but I have a feeling that I will go to state because I did it 2 years ago.
That's your
Go
prerogative.
right ahead.
Thanks. Do I need to stay in the courtroom?
Nope, you're good.
Nope.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thanks for your time.
All right, Paul, you're up.
Unfortunately, I didn't know that no exhibits could be shown.
You can talk off of it.
All right, I'll try to go fast. I did a
Introduce yourself, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
Do I need to state the parcel?
No.
Okay. My name is Paul Peterson. I live at 2349 North Mint Creek Road.
You're up.
I hope to explain in a few minutes how my dispute with the Bureau of Land Management has significantly devalued my property. After the Charlotte fire, by law, they have to resurvey their property. I live adjacent to public lands. It showed an encroachment of my structures onto their property. I was issued a trespass notice from the Bureau of Land Management. I had to write my senator, Mike Crapo. They worked and eventually produced a grant. This grant states, I finally got, there were inaccuracies in a grant that they initially proposed right after the fire, but I got those inaccuracies corrected. I also got them to put in wording that the grant could be renewed, at least by myself. Unfortunately, the grant is not transferable. There's no explicit language to reassign to a new owner should I want to sell the property. In 2020, I thought of trying to correct the encroachment. Just to modify the garage was, at that time, a quote for $55,000. That would have turned it from a 3-bay to a 2-bay garage. I talked to the Bureau of Land Management. They said that first of all I'd have to get an archaeologist to look for artifacts before I could do any excavation. I decided that I'd need to hire a professional architect to see what is possible. When I did my own survey, or I hired a survey of the property, it appears that many of the houses in Mint Creek are offset. If I were to build a fence, my neighbor would not have use of parking space for his cars, nor would he be able to use his garage. If I do go forward with trying to correct this, I'd likely have a dispute with my neighbor to reclaim the property he is using. I cannot claim adverse possession with the federal government. I've talked to various realtors and lawyers. They said that my property would maybe only sell for about 75% of its potential value. They said no mortgage company with this disclosure would make a loan. No title company would provide title insurance. In 2020, I did do an accessible appeal to the state, and they sided with me in my arguments for the devaluation based on my dispute.
Thank you. Comments about what he said? Your 30 minutes begin now.
Just gonna briefly go over the property record card. We didn't really have anything else as far as sales or anything that we could have elaborated on with this one. They just wrote on the property record card that 9/10 of the property on his is his own parcel, that only 1/10 of the BLM, which is a small corner of the garage, but yeah, I don't really have much.
Okay.
It's pretty straightforward with the property record card and everything.
Good. Comments about what she
Everything
just
seemed
said?
The easement is also on BLM property, not just the garage.
Okay.
And to sell this, I understand I'd have to modify the garage and move the easement. Moving the easement is not straightforward because it may mean moving the well for this property as well.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioners?
I was reading through the case from when he went to the state, and I'm assuming he presented the same information at that hearing.
Similar.
So I would tend to agree that the stuff that he has presented does provide compelling evidence to reduce the value.
Anything, Commissioner?
So when you said if you sell this property, then the garage would have to be either moved or
Modified.
or,
And the easement as well.
okay. Yeah, you still have value to it. I mean, you can still use the garage as long as you have it. The garage is there. Even when you sell the property, there's still value there. I mean, there's still an adjustment needs to be made.
I have a grant.
What that is an arbitrary, what's it worth it to you, and what's it, I mean, that's always the problem, is when you run into these, is what's that done. Yes, it is what's the cost to cure to have them go in and do that.
Well, this is the third time in 4 years that you've been before the BOE. There needs to be something put on the permanent record so that a decision and discussion about this
Yeah.
doesn't come around every year, so that we keep doing it.
So what I would do is I would reduce the land value then on this property because the land of how it's assessed. And what I would do is I would see if there's a negative influence that can be applied to the file, is how I would put it. So your improvements are your improvements. I mean, they're worth what they're worth, but the land itself, that's going to be your argument because, yeah, you have to move a.
I'm okay going with the taxpayer's opinion based on, again, the previous valuation from the tax board.
And then set it off the land.
Yeah.
Don't set it off the improvement, set it off the land.
I think that's appropriate.
Is that a motion?
I will make it so.
Read
Mr. Chair,
parcel.
on parcel RPR 401-302-7500, I make a motion that we adjust the value of the property per the appellate's request of $318,000 with the adjustment coming off the land. I would also add to the motion that we add something to,
Have a negative influence.
yes, add that to the file so that we can address that going forward.
Have a motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we did adjust it down to the 318 that was requested. Like I said, you have the ability to appeal that, and so does the assessor.
No, I thank you for your judgment.
All right, thank you. All right. Leishman, State your names for the record,
Tim and Katie Leishman.
and then your 3 minutes begin.
So we just want to talk about our assessment and plead the case that why it's higher than it should be. We provided in the original document some pictures of our neighbor's property. And then we also live right across from Heartland Park. And there's been some issues with the park as well, that both of those contributed, I feel, to a lesser value of our home.
And I have pictures from today if you'd like to look at some pictures.
They won't go on the record, so if you can describe them, but we can't.
So our neighbor that's next to us has weeds knee to hip high.
That's the
Whole
picture that you
entire
have in
property. Yeah, do you want?
No, I
No.
mean, it's already
Yeah.
in the packet there.
And that was a while ago. They're much higher now. There's
I've got ones
packages,
from today.
there's packages and some other things scattered on her.
You know what Roundup is? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm spending a lot of fortune on weed control on my
Drift.
property.
No, you're using ester because it works a lot better.
I'm sorry.
So we've got more weeds in our property that I'm having to continually take care of. Also, the park and one of the benefits of our property, we're in a cul-de-sac and the park's right across the street. We have 5 kids, so it's awesome. The park's got a bunch of weeds right now. I don't know, the city's not taking care of the weeds like they should. There's a dead tree in the park.
2.
There's one that blew
You got
over.
Mayor England's phone number?
I do.
That was blown over and cut down, and then the stumps there, I've got pictures of all that stuff too, so.
But we've got, mice and voles that are coming into our yard now because the
the-
park and our neighbor aren't taking care of their property.
Well, the park's not near as bad as our
No.
neighbor, and we share a fence line with that neighbor, so we're getting moles or something that's digging up holes, and I'm having to put poison out.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to
Well, you don't want to talk about taxes, but our taxes are based off of our property value, and they went up
Okay.
$1,000 last
Okay,
year.
and we don't talk about taxes, that's
So our
not part of
property
this here.
value went up
Uh-huh.
to a point that raised our taxes up, and now it went up again this year. But yet our neighbors and everything else kind of around us, it seems like it's going down.
And I did pull up some comparable homes, and most of them have been on the market almost a month, and the highest one is $424,000. That's comparable to our home. Square footage, lot size, things like that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from Assessor's table? Your 3 minutes begin now.
We have the home sitting at 944 Stripes, and it shows that it has 2,160 square feet above grade and 600 in the basement, and then just a 3-car garage. Up in that neighborhood, the average value would probably be close to theirs at $480,037. I would just ask at this time that that value be upheld.
Your comparables.
That is all.
All right. Questions about what she just said?
Yeah, what's the value of what's this address on Brundage?
It's like 46.
It's 4704.
4704 Brundage.
I know personally, moving to a new neighborhood, that would cause issue for me in buying this home. It absolutely 100% would.
4704?
Brundage.
I think that's what it is.
4704, yeah,
I'll
that's
just
the
put
number.
4704.
Brundage, it may turn into, I don't know if it's Revere,
We have
Declaration.
Okay. They're at 434,
No
255.
way.
She's,
You want to see this picture?
her.
Okay,
No,
no, this
no.
isn't a discussion between you guys.
Her
It all goes
driveway
right
is
here.
cracking because
Yeah,
of.
I got the
He's got the-
pictures that you have.
The driveway there is cracking. You can start to see that even the
So-
sidewalk has
Sidewalk
issues
is
because
settled
it is
down.
so poorly cared
Yep.
for.
I-
Our
So
fences-
landscaping actually is not taken into account of assessment of values, either when you do your own personal mortgage and have an appraiser come out, they very rarely they might give you a nominal token for a sprinkler system, same in the tax thing, because that is a very subjective of, you might not like weeds, I might like weeds. Now, what we're saying is the properties there that are there now, it could cause some undue stress to you guys and cause some issues, and rice, rats, mice, voles, vermin, you can start having problems, you can start having issues. Now, you're not going to have a drastic change. Now you can have what's called demolition by neglect that is starting to occur on her property, or that property. I don't know who owns it, if it's Maryland or whoever. What I'm saying is yeah, that house is still have that. Now, you'll have comps that, yes, I agree right now, you have comps that are sitting on a month. We're starting into a slump right now. We're required from January 1, well, December 31st to January 1 of last year. We always look in the rear of where we're at. This next year, you're going to see exactly what you're saying is what's going to occur. Your square footage, your guys' house, what's somebody willing to pay for your house right now? Your square footage, your house, it's up kept. I'm looking at your Google Maps right now.
We're up,
We
yeah.
do.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. But now, hold on.
This isn't a discussion back and forth. This is
Now,
him
what I'm
talking this
saying
time.
is, yeah, I'd probably, the Amazon people on the porch and the weeds and the garbage and all that stuff, and if that's right over the backside of your house, yeah, that would be a subjective, what do you place on that then? How much is somebody not willing to live next to you for the cost? And that's the whole thing that we're required to do here, because we're required to find market value. And so that's a very subjective thing. If you have somebody that, I don't care what my neighbor does, and my yard, I kind of like, and I'm not going to have a putting green, or if I'm going to have a putting green, it's a lot different story, because, and we've seen some houses that the landscaping is flipping unreal. Like some of these houses that come in here are terraced and just phenomenal. You wouldn't want that next door to your house if that's what you're doing. We've had other people that come in and just zero-scape their yards and they don't care. That's what we're having to look at now. Is so for me, I don't know how to value that. What's the subjective nature of that? The park across the street, that's another argument too. If the city is failing to maintain,
A park across the street is always positive.
I think so.
I mean, I may
And
have
that's
some
part
weeds,
of
but
why
it's
we
always
bought the house,
positive.
but we have
Okay,
had
okay,
issues
this
about the
discussion is
park
just
as well.
right here.
You're talking.
Right here. That's all the discussion, right here.
Okay.
Commissioner Huff.
Well, as per what I've been doing consistently, I look at 2 or 3 internet sites to see what they have your home valued at, and it is above what the assessor has you at. So I agree that the park across the street, while maybe not maintained to the standard you would probably like, is a plus. The neighbor behind you can't help you there. So I got nothing other than staying where we're at.
Did you have something then, Commissioner?
no, the problem is again, landscaping is not given a major part to it. That's the whole problem. While I agree that, yeah, if the neighbor's going to be a pain in the butt and you're going to have issues, it's a civil matter and not a assessment matter. That's a report to the city and file a complaint with the city, and you file civil matters with the city. And because again, I don't see how you do that, so I'd have to agree with Commissioner Huff on that.
I'm trying to find a way to go down, but I can't find anything.
I look for 3 different things. You can ask these guys. I'm usually the guy that if your land values are anywhere out of line, I will just club them over the head and they're ready to throw their pencil at me. But you're sitting on your lot value right now is set at $69,000, where most of them we're seeing in the 80s and 85s and 90s, because that's what's going on. So I don't have anything there. And like I said, I don't have anything right now
Call for a
to
motion?
do that.
Mr. Chair, on parcel RPRCHLE 002600, I make a motion that we uphold the assessed value.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. You have the ability to appeal to the state or to the district courts, as well as the assessor does.
All right.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. You should look at the Google Earth from last
Ms.
year.
Klein? Please state your name, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
My name's Joyce Klein. mind. My address is 4075 Don Ridge Avenue. Sorry. I didn't want to get emotional. And some of the things you told me that I cannot say. So, I mean, the only thing I can say about my house is it does need improvements. I mean, I basically need a new roof. We just got that assessed. We just had somebody come over, and that's $11,000 because it's old roof.
How much for that roof?
$11,000. And then our deck is 40 years old, and it really is falling apart. It's a redwood deck, but that needs to be replaced. And we were actually going to just put a Trek deck in, which is a little more expensive. The bid came in at like $18,000, but that's a little out of line. And then our driveway really is cracked and sinking just from over the years. Our house is 45 years old, and so, the driveway definitely needs to be taken care of. I mean, I'm not going to go on my neighbors like they were going on their neighbors. My neighbor's house next door to us, we've always said that it really kind of brings our property value down. We as property owners in this subdivision, really at the time that house was built, did not really fight because it's like a 900 square foot home. It does not have a garage. The basement's not finished. It's been rented out, which we were supposed to have rentals in our property. It's been rented out for 30 years. The people that live there now has just purchased that property. So now they're trying to fix it up. But when I looked at the assessed values, it was interesting because when I went into my neighborhood, I mean, what you assess my house at, everybody in the neighborhood is that or more. And but this one, of course, was 277. My assessed, can I say that, what my assessed value is? Was 387. That's just for my house, not my little piece of land. And I thought, these poor people, 277,000, I'm thinking for their house, which is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. There's 1 bedroom downstairs, which doesn't really count as a bedroom because it doesn't have a closet. Their whole downstairs has never even been finished. I had even said, I think you need to go appeal this because this is crazy. I feel bad for them. So anyway, that was just what I was going to say. And I do have one question that I would like to ask is, and I know maybe you said you can't talk income or anything, but could I just ask one question? Is there something, because I was seeing that you could have like a reduction on your taxes for income, but I know I can't mention that.
Well, when we get done with this,
Okay.
the assessor, sister, Mr. Hymas, Anita Hymas,
Deputy assessor.
will come out and talk to you about different programs that are
Okay.
available.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Whoops. Your table.
I'm gonna chuckle at that one all day.
The subject property sits at 4075 Don Ridge. We show that it has 1,504 square feet on the main and upper, 960 in the basement with 456 of that finished. It's a 1977 build, and we have it valued at $387,846 currently. I just would ask that value be upheld at this time.
Okay. Do you have any comments about what she just talked about?
That's fine if you want to uphold that value. I just need help with the taxes now at this point.
Okay, all right. Commissioners?
I have my same thing, and they already know what I'm gonna say to them. We have a $93,000 lot.
More than double.
Yeah.
What's the lots in that area?
Lots are based on last year's values. Very small, 45,000 last year.
That's what hers was.
Mm-hmm.
Hers is .32
1, 2,
acres.
3, 4, 5, 6,
45.
4, 5.
The lot right next to her last year was at 29.8. That's last year's value.
I'm holding at 75.
Can you tell me what parcel
75 here.
RPWHS 003700 is what its new value is?
The land or all?
Just the land,
You're,
93.
93. So you can adjust all those. What are you suggesting on that land, Terrell?
I just say hold it at 75. Their backyard is actually on the highway. Again, we're gonna have some.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, on parcel number RPR PWH S003800, I move that we adjust land value to $75,000.
We have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So we come down
About 20 grand.
almost $20,000 on your land. Like I said, you have the ability to appeal that, and so does the assessor.
Okay,
And this hearing is over, I'll have Anita step out with you and visit with you about
Okay.
the other,
all right, thank you.
the other parts there.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right.
Nelson? Oh, Nelson canceled.
Wayne Nelson, did you guys do anything with that, or?
Let me pull it up really quick.
I don't have a problem with this one. Mr. Chairman, I'd move on parcel RPRCVI 1002300. We uphold the assessor's value.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Then we have Campbell,
For what?
we already did that one,
It's been pulled, it looks like.
or,
I don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have it. They cleared it off, pulled it out of the drive.
Is that Kim?
Yeah.
Is anything resolved on Kim Campbell? Do you guys know? It was canceled on our end, but I don't know if it was
Yeah, it's
resolved
not
or
showing.
canceled. I think it was.
Is it KIM?
Yeah.
CAMP.
Yep. I can't even see we can't even see the file, so yeah.
Something happened, huh?
Scott? Is it at 16905 High Pine Ridge, Lava?
Sounds right. Or Shadow Pine.
Yeah. 1888 North,
It's
32.
a plains, they're out of, yeah,
Oh,
they're out of Utah,
yeah.
but it is High
Ridge.
Pine Ridge.
Okay, let me just get this in here really quick. I just had to find the parcel number because I don't have it on my list. We're just showing a value of $304,612. Do you have
There's a worksheet on there.
there?
Well, if they're sending a worksheet, well, let's wait until we get a worksheet then later.
Oh, okay. Looks like they adjusted the land down to 86,152.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that on parcel,
And then the improvement came down as well for a total of $233,472 on the worksheet. So it's $233,472 total value, but it's off land and improvable. So just the total.
On parcel RPR RLR 4005800, I move that we accept the assessor's recommendation. I was gonna make you just accept the recommendation while you're waiting for
okay,
values,
sorry.
because then it would have just.
All right, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
No, it's
Aye.
not.
That was a preemptive motion, to just, hey, whenever you guys get to it.
All right, and that takes care of everybody in the 10 o'clock, so we're at recess till 11.